What exactly had caused the Vietnam War? The Vietnam War had started during 1945 to 1975 during the Cold War. It all started with the French colonial government occupied in Indochina, present-day Vietnam, during the World War II. Later on, they had been overthrown by the Japanese in 1945 as a defeat during the French Indochina War. The Japanese had done this in order to prevent importations of fuel and weaponry within the ports and railroads of China. Over time, the French had an immediate interest in maintaining in power a friendly French government to assist in the furtherance of their aims in Europe. In 1945, the Potsdam Conference in Germany was held to manage the post-World War aftermath. On a side note, Vietnam was not necessarily a priority and was split into North and South during this meeting. During the conference, the French had a request to earn their colonies back from Japan. The French were then given back their colonies in South Vietnam, thus leading to the surrender of the Japanese and were removed from Vietnam. As for North Vietnam, a new government was led by Ho Chi Minh with communist ideals inspired by the Declaration of Independence and created the Viet Minh.
Wait, how did the Declaration of Independence stimulate these ideas?
The Vietnamese people deeply love independence, freedom, and peace. But in the face of United States aggression, they have risen up, united as one man.
As for the Viet Minh, it was a revolutionary organization developed with the citizens of Vietnam that Minh concluded the
Enemies can kill 10 of my men for every one I kill of yours. But even at those odds, you will lose and I will win.
With support from the British, the French had attempted to regain the north by sending approximately 1,400 troops to attack the Viet Minh and innocent civilians in the summer of 1945. In return, the Viet Minh had murdered approximately 150 civilians, including children, of the French and Europeans occupied in the south. At the same time, they had disabled the commerce and had shut down the supply of water and electricity of Saigon, which is one of the suburb towns of southern Vietnam. The US had become involved, allied with the South, as the Viet Minh had accidentally killed Lieutenant Colonel A. Peter Dewey, which was one of the first American deaths during a guerrilla warfare. In 1946, the French had bought an effort to give independence to those in the North as a sense of unity for Vietnam, though this does not work due to the propaganda by Ho Chi Minh. Later, on the 8th of March in 1949, Bao Dai became the head of state instead of emperor of South Vietnam.
And who is Bao Dai?
The last emperor of the Nguyen dynasty, who was in exile before the Indochina War in 1945 and had became a leader after the French were defeated in 1932. But I don't care about my country, so I moved to France in 1945.
During 1950, the US had given $15 million worth of military aid to the French. For the North, Minh gained support from the USSR, China, and Eastern Europe, who were all the communists in 1955. More and more conflicts became intense as the French could not keep up and the US had continued to support to prevent the domino theory, which is basically one country following after another. Due to the multiple major and minor events, they had led to the beginning of the Vietnam War.